Ladies and gentlemen, how are we all doing? Cutting that intro that I done, which I said the intro was just the casting reel, cutting it a little bit short because we will be ready to get into this game very shortly. So we want to speed through everything else that we have ready for you this evening. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in Light Unlimited versus Hybrid Nations, a huge elite matchup today, and I'm very excited to be bringing it to you right here in the channel, folks. My name is Zepcast. Welcome on in. Hope you are going to enjoy what we have in store for you this evening. Should be a whole lot of fun. I'm looking forward to get into it, and because of that, we're not going to dilly-dally. We're going to take you straight through the information that you should be up to date with so far going into this one. Now, I am not sure how accurate this is. I pieced this together in a bit of a rush just for today, and yes, it is AI generated, as you can see by the bottom right. As I said, I prepped this in under an hour, and I believe the information is accurate. Of course, if it's not, do scold me. I did just send that sort of information straight in through, asked it to theme it as best as it could, and that's what I got. I actually think it doubled some information there. I'm only after noticing that now. That is typical, but folks have done the best that it could. It's giving you a quick little snippet of information. Of course, y'all will know better than I would that this is a pretty big game for Light Unlimited, 0 and 3 at the moment. Of course, Hybrid Nations 1 and 2. So big matchup for both of these sides, really. Light Unlimited, as far as I'm aware, as far as it's been communicated to me, I believe that this is kind of their last chance saloon in terms of qualifying through. So need to make sure that they can get a result here today. And we take a look as well at one of the teams here, Light Unlimited, Aiden Kleem, Danny Codd, and Zidix, who will be looking to try and pick up the victory for their side here today. Again, best of luck to them in those efforts. We will see how they get on once we get loaded in. I am actually in the lobby now with the players, and I am just going to let them know. Well, actually, they're not all in as of yet, so we still got a bit of time, not to worry. So we also check out the other side. Hybrid Nations, Twisted, Juggy Boy, Side Season, and Whalers. So again, best of luck to them in this game today. Of course, I've just thrown the Zep logo in there, the Zepcast one, as the team didn't have a logo, so using a bit of a generic one for them here today. Nothing too fancy, fantastical, but it gets the job done. And speaking of get the job done, that is going to be the main call of point for both of these sides here today. Huge game for them as they need to get the job done at this elite stage. And let's take a look at the maps that they have to face off against each other in. We'll be starting off with a Colossus hardpoint, moving on then to a raid, search and destroy, and then a Scar overload. And if it warrants it, folks, we could see not one but 2 outings on exposure in maps 4 and 5 with a hardpoint and search and destroy. Should be a very, very entertaining series to watch. I am very curious as to how this one is going to go. Light Unlimited having a great outing the last time we got to cover them during the weekend, or Friday I believe it was. Weren't able to get over the line quite, but we'll be looking to do so here against what is also a very, very strong side. So again, do let me know how you think this game is going to go. What are your predictions? Make sure to let us know in the chat. And if this is your first time checking out the channel, welcome on in. Pleasure to have you here, and hopefully we have an absolute bang out on our hands. Okay, dokie, making sure all of that is okay on my end. I will let them know, or actually, let me just double check before we are ready to go here that I have the sides right. I need to switch them. Amazing. Good thing that I spotted that. Unlimited, Zedek. Yes, I did have the right sides. Okay. I will let them know that I'm ready on my end. All right. All ready to go on my end. Hopefully we get loaded in just a couple of moments. Again, these players normally very good at allowing me to get things set up, so I massively appreciate that. And welcome on into the new follows as well. Neptune, Nash Cod, Praxi, Como, Maxin, all coming through with the follows. Massively appreciate y'all coming through, showing the support, and make sure to show the support to the side of your choosing as we get loaded in to map number 1. Huge moments already for these sides going into map 1. How will they fare out? Who you got? Who do you think has what it takes, folks? I'll be very curious to see for myself. We are in the map. Doesn't seem to be any issues. We're going to be getting straight in. Map number 1. What to be an absolute cracker of a series is getting underway. Starting on board with Twisted. Trying to get some shots in early. They aren't hitting. He has to fall back. Kiwi on the point now with Aiden as well to get some initial time. This has been a good start for Light Unlimited. But Zidix with the team kill, you talk about a good start. That's going to shut things up rather quickly. Is Scythe coming through with one. Rotating around the side as well, trying to pick up a little more. But it doesn't happen. Checkerboard a kill feed. Hybrid Nations now with the chance to break through and do chunk 3 already. As he looks to get some time back for a Hybrid. Answer back in this P1. Try to make it a bit of a back and forth. Whalers getting a trade there towards the point. Trying to actually push out towards P2. It doesn't quite happen. And Light Unlimited are so far protecting spawns. Have majority time for this P1. And are making sure to play their lives to fall back towards the point. As we're already going to be seeing sort of a full frontal flood here from Hybrid to break through the hold of Light Unlimited. And with Chunks picking up a big 2. Whalers with 3. Whalers making it the 4. And they're still spawning in the back. But Hybrid so far holding from the front as they look to try and keep Light Unlimited pushed as far back as possible until they can flip. But folks, that we've had a spawn out here, which means Scythe is going to be able to pick up 1. He gets the 2. Twisted making it 3. Cleamsy the last alive, but getting 2 in the process here as he desperately tries to hold on and keep a pressure on this P2 that so far has been going immaculately well for Hybrid Nations, who came at this point not having held spawns, have done a good job holding from front. But finally, Light Unlimited are managing to break through and actually hold some time themselves. They do have spawns back, and they are going to be able to most likely get back into the lead on this point. Terrific retake from them to keep the scoreline competitive early on. Again, folks, do let me know as well. I think my mic volume may have dropped slightly, which I'll need to change in settings. If there is any issues with mic quality, do let me know. If you have issues with the voice coming through the mic, I can't help that. I'm very sorry, but at least the loudness of it, I can help, unless you're going to tell me that I just should just shut it off entirely, at which point you're just going to have to persevere. I apologize. But Whalers, Chunk picking up 2. Cleamsy managing to get a trade though up against Whalers. This has been a very neck and neck game so far. Both teams having their moments, but Cleamsy living in the moment right now. 10 and 4. Huge numbers from himself, and he's going to need to keep those numbers up unless Zidix can improve his. 2 and 8. Not the best start, but plenty of time to get back into this one. Again, folks, map number 1 of this series. It's okay to be a little bit cold. It happens to the best of us. But Cleamsy 12 and 4 has started off red hot and is looking to continue that form as he's going to try and push out for these P2 spawns. The timings are gonna work out for that kill, but made a little bit more weak than he should have been on that gunfight, which means he's there for the trade. Scythe picking it up to go on a 3 streak now, trying to make it 4, but Aiden playing the bait and switch with his teammate, doing a great job there, picking up that 1. 2 kills now for Light Unlimited, 1 for Hybrid Nations as they look to try and hold the spawns. But the flood of light beaming through, pushing out the back, allowing Light Unlimited now to hold on to that time and grab the spawns. A nice wave of form for them. It was shaky at that P2, maybe a little bit worried, but they've come back very strong here and are looking like they might be able to do the job against this Hybrid Nation side unless they can start to up the ante. And Twisted with the 3-piece. It's almost like he knew what I was going to say and is up in the ante himself. 7 and 11, not a great start either. Had similar numbers to Zidix, but if he's going to pick them up first, that is going to be almost a man advantage really in terms of that KD output, and that could be enough to pull Hybrid Nations back into it. Only 5 points in the difference as both of these teams look to reset towards P1. As a matter of fact, it'll be just 1 point in the difference as we go to P1. Neck and neck. As Scythe picking up a kill. Try and hold that time. Hybrid Nations back in the lead. But for how long? 2 kills for Light Unlimited as they look to push through. Aiden now at 1 gets on to the point. As we do see Twisted try to play his life, pushing out and around towards P2. Will he be able to pick up the second against Zidix? He doesn't look like he's going to, as Hybrid Nations are putting a little bit of a focus here on the P2 spawns. As you can see, it will be Cleamsy going to try and deal with that pusher. He's going to pick up 1, going to pick up the second. Huge kills from Cleamsy, now 20 and 10, double positive, and nearly 50 seconds in hill. A perfect start for Cleamsy. Cleamsy, I presume Cleamsy. Again, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, scold me. I will allow it. As Cleamsy now gets taken out from up top after picking up 1 more. 21 and 11. Whalers trying to rotate around the back, but he decides to cut up towards that scrap, sit underneath, try and get the player rotating. Hybrid Nations do have spawns, so we'll be happy with where they're sat so far. Whalers patiently waiting. He didn't spot the player on his left somehow, some way, but he's making his way around the back. He's going to make 2 players weak and getting one in the process. His teammates are getting the other, which means they get to collapse back in on the point. But Light Unlimited have successfully flipped the spawns on this point now, pushing out the back. And the checkerboarded kill feed means that they'll have actually lost spawns in the end up. Hybrid Nations doing a terrific job at P2. Definitely seems to be their preferred point on this map as they even the scoreline and go ahead once again. Twisted holding the back, trying to stay up. 3 down. Last alive is Zidix, but he's going to be in the spawn. He's not able to cause a flip though. And Hybrid Nations are going to be able to hold on as Light Unlimited will look to rotate towards P3. Clemsy picking up the kill on the rotation, and he went on a great run here the last time around. This is where we start to see his KD start to excel. Will it be able to excel once more? I'm just boosting my mic volume there ever so slightly, folks. Just seeing if I'll actually stay up. Having a Windows issue at the moment where the mic volume decides to keep resetting down to 20 when it needs to be at 40 to get the optimum volume. Something I will need to fix. But Chunk getting his fix of hill time here. 48 seconds and rising. But Whalers and Twisted with over a minute as well each on that point, showing their levels. As another hugely checkerboarded kill feed means that Scythe gets dropped. Zidix gets on the point as he tries to pull up some time. What a recovery it's been from Twisted as well, who I believe was himself 4 and 11 at one point, is now 17 and 19. What a turnaround. Zidix on his way to a turnaround himself, but the numbers haven't been quite as spectacular. But of course, there is time for that to change. Again, thank you for more follows coming in as well. Kez coming through with the follow. Massively appreciate the support here on the Zepcast Twitch channel. Chunk rotating up through top, up through P1, trying to allow his team to keep the hold here. And these last couple of hills, Hybrid Nations have begun to get ever so slightly warmer as they're starting to build a bit of a lead. The biggest lead I think that we've seen so far in the matchup today. Light Unlimited trying to hold on, but the push through the back. Scythe going huge. Zidix trying to pick up 2. Can he get the 30? Staying alive on point, but the flood through the front proving to be too much. Kiwi's going to need to clean up the mess here on the point, and he does. Can he grab one more? It's back and forth as they desperately claw for this scrap time at P4. But the reset now going to be to P1. Shunk on top. And Aiden rotating through the bottom. How are the timings working out? Not well. Whalers is there to watch. As Chunk sitting on the point is going to get Hybrid Nations over the 200 point mark. The finish line in sight for map 1. Light Unlimited still chasing this game, but it's looking increasingly unlikely unless they can go big. Hybrid Nations have had a lot of success on P2 as well, so if they can successfully control the transition over, it is hard to see a road back into this one unless Light Unlimited change it up and change it up quickly. 2 though on P1, recognizing the importance of every second of this P1 hill time. Do not want to get Hybrid Nations within that easily winning distance on P2. Of course, they still could technically win it on P2, but a checkerboarded kill feed should surely mean that it goes to a P3 from here, provided Light Unlimited are able to lock down this point, which they have done immaculately. How have they held on to a P1 so well of all points on this map? But the trades back and forth now mean it's 205 to 191. It's going to be just under 20 points in the difference as we rotate over to P2. Whalers picking up 1. Hybrid Nations have the spawns. And Light Unlimited on the chase, trying to get round the back, checking the left-hand corner, spots a leg. And that's enough as Zidix picks up 1 as well around the back. Whalers and Chunk, though, combining for a couple. All up to Chunk now on this point, who's picked up 2. Kiwi, though, with the flood out. And Light Unlimited have successfully flipped these spawns. Can they make the most of them, though? Both teams over 200 points as we go right down to the wire here on map 1 in what is going to be an absolute bang out of a series as Light Unlimited pick up 3. Aiden flanking back round mid, taking out Whalers, trying to pick up the second. He's made Scythe 1 shot. Zidix trying to take him down and does. Another 3 dead. Chunk trying to stay alive, be a presence, be a nuisance in the spawn. 3 players with over a minute in Hill for Hybrid. They've been playing together, but will it be enough? As Light Unlimited, just 1 point behind as we get ready to go over to P3. They actually take the lead, but Hybrid Nations have banked on this P3 point and are set up. And P4 may come into play at this point, depending on what happens over on P3. It would have to be a very checkerboarded feed for it to be that. It would have to be very back and forth, but it's possible that it will be. However, Hybrid's hold so far is looking good, and you have to look for Light Unlimited, how they flank and how Hybrid Nations deal with those flanks. They're not going to be able to brute force it through the front, as so far Hybrid Nations cleaning up on this P3, and Aiden's going to pick up 1. We'll need to do more than that, though, on this point. He's getting into the contest spot. Exactly what he needs to do. Hybrid Nations just 10 points away. Light Unlimited breaking, though, onto the point. But Hybrid Nations just allowing that. They are waiting. They do not want to give up their lives on the child. But Aiden with a huge 2. Now on 32. Clean on 34. Kiwi on 31. The KD strong as well as Chunk trying to go for the 40 bomb here. He may need that to get his side over the line. But Light Unlimited are going for the scrap. We are going to go to a P4. And it is going to be Hybrid Nations who are rotated. So it is all about the push out the back. Is Clean going to be able to take out Whalers in that back spawn? He jumps off the map. A horrid mistake, but Light Unlimited have pushed through the front. Whalers is playing his life. He may have to go in for the Chal, though. It's neck and neck, but Light Unlimited have to deal with 1 more push. 2 down, 3, and Light Unlimited take map number 1. 250 to 242. That was nail biting. Oh my God. Oh my God. We are in for a series, folks. I knew we would be. There was something in the air. I could feel it. I felt it in my bones. And Light Unlimited by the skin of their teeth. It looked like it might have gone the way of Hybrid Nations, but Light Unlimited did enough to hang on and sneak it right at the death. Folks, I tell you, when I thought that Hybrid Nations had done enough on that rotation of P3, I really do mean it. I thought that was it. I thought it was done. I thought they'd done enough. But Light Unlimited making life awkward enough at P3 to force the issue at P4. And to be honest, it was Hybrids to lose. You know, I really do think that Light Unlimited, granted great plays, they may have gotten away with one there at the end up. Again, terrific to be able to break through. But Hybrid Nations had done a lot on that P3. And we're set with the spawns for P4. But I think we're a little bit we're too worried about the spawns. And worried about sitting at the back rather than just causing that hill pressure, getting as many seconds as they could. Trying to influence the spawns, I suppose, to get them to spawn up. But also not making sure to take Clean out of the back. Ultimately, Clean actually did just jump out in the water. And when that happened, I thought that may have been Hybrids, or Light Unlimited, excuse me, might have been their undoing. But Hybrid Nations just weren't able to get over the line. Light Unlimited just getting a vital wave of kills, 2-1 constantly on the kills, and it was enough to get them over the line, as close as it could be, as we're getting ready to go in to a raid, search and destroy, as we have Bullet is back and Tardiga coming in with the follow. Thank you very much for coming through and supporting the Zepcast channel as well. Massively appreciate y'all. And we'll go back to the cam here just for a sec. We won't stay on this long. I won't subject you to this. I know it's not the prettiest sight. Definitely not as pretty as the gameplay that we just witnessed. But damn, I mean, look, what a great performance. Really enjoyed that first map. And yeah, we got a great series on our hands. To say these teams, if they're watching the stream, they're 45-second delay, so they may have already started by the time they see this. But we should be ready to go into the next one. I think all 4 players are in and ready to go. I will let them know that we are ready. But folks, if you just missed that map 1, you missed an absolute humdinger. And folks, we are ready. We are ready. We're going in map number 2, about to get underway, as we'll be heading over to raid for a cheeky little bit of search and destroy. How will this one go? If it's anything like map 1, this is going to be another absolute heater. And we load in. looking like it's all good to go. Again, best of luck to both of these sides. Let's go. Map 1. It's Hybrid Nations on the offense to begin with. Trying to get pushed up. They have quite a bit of control. Light Unlimited almost just happy to let them play for the plant, as they have top control as well. And we're seeing the push around the back now. Shots coming through. Twisted though, rotating out, playing their lives to perfection. But Zedix is going to get some good timing against one. He's ready for the second as well. But Scythe drops out, makes sure not to drop his life. Whalers then picking up one. The trades there, disciplined from Hybrid. Clemsy caught in an unfortunate position, getting dropped. Now it's a 3 versus 1, all up to Zedix, as he maneuvers towards the back of the map. Whalers in waiting on the heady. A little wall jump off the wall is all they need. Hybrid Nations taking round number 1. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands that reeks of being able to go all the way to a map 5. Of course, only time will tell. But Hybrid Nations looking strong, confident, disciplined on that offense on Raid. And the offense is a lot of the time in these recent search and destroys and these recent Call of Duty seemingly the harder ones to win. You know, maybe it was always the case, but definitely on Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7, it felt more so that if you win your offense, you're doing something right. Light Unlimited need to try and answer back with a round of their own. Bomb angling towards B. Whalers on watch. Getting a little bit of that information. Again, such a lovely little wall peek there to get that info. I think they're aware that bomb is going down as the rotation coming back on through. But look at where Aiden is sitting so deep in the spawn, getting ready for that full flanker. But if he stays there too long, he's not going to be that much help to his team. He's going to need to be able to collapse in to help his team up at that top. But I mean, this is such a strong position for Light Unlimited. You have Chunk going around the side trying to be the difference maker here, and this is actually a route I often take, so it's kind of putting a tear in my eye seeing it working in an elite game. This is usually the play that I'd make, and it's going to work as Chunk picks up 2. Is he going to be able to get the last? The push coming through. Zidix in trouble. He can't get it, and the defuse coming in. Hybrid Nations breaking. A perfect setup from Light Unlimited on that B plant to go 2-0 up in the series, or 2-0 up in the map, excuse me. And that's a big round to win. Light Unlimited, they were set up. They were looking good. But ultimately, Hybrid Nations managing to break through. And I love that water route works. It's a route I take. I can't claim to be good at much of Call of Duty, but I get to say that I was taking a route on week 1 that now elite players are taking. I will put that on my grave. It's all I've got. And for those of you just tuning in as well, Light Unlimited taking map number 1 against Hybrid Nations 250 to 242. Chunk on a 4 spree as well, with Scythe on a 2. Only 2 lives dropped actually for Hybrid, both of which have been twisted. Clemsy's been spotted. But he comes through with the snipe regardless. Hello. Let me just take your head clean off. Thanking you. Zidix with 1. 2 versus 4 now. A strong round for Light Unlimited. Hybrid Nations though. Down but never out. 2 players who haven't dropped yet on the rotation to A. That sniper coming out. Will that be a big difference maker? It's been a couple of rounds before we've seen it have any sort of repercussion. And will it continue to be that? The glass break. Clemsy. Will he have heard it? Will he be aware of it? He's the sniper in hand, ready round the corner. He gets the spot. He's been spotted too. I believe Whalers is cooking a nade. Scythe there. Clemsy's going to be in trouble. He doesn't want to drop that sniper too early. Is he going to get the assistance from his teammates? He isn't. And very, very strange happening there. I don't really understand the setup from Light Unlimited to leave the sniper so exposed. Not be instantly rotating back for the assistance, but maybe just not valuing the sniper that much. Ultimately, Light Unlimited doing enough to take the round. A good round at that from them in the end up, but dropping a sniper that I don't think in the end up they would have need to have dropped. Onwards we go, round number 3. Light Unlimited getting around back. Hybrid Nations. Sure, not panicking as of yet. They've played some really good rounds. Have Light Unlimited found the formula to answer back? Or is that just a fluke? Patience from both sides here. Chunk getting a little bit more advanced, but not getting overzealous. Is just going to sit and wait. Light Unlimited passively moving through, eventually taking a bit of mid control, which I'm surprised Hybrid Nations were happy to let a team have. Mid control can be dangerous. It's looking like Clemsy and Chunk will be meeting each other very, very soon. We will see how are these timings going to work out. Not great. Chunk is going to get one, and actually, oh, I thought he was about to get the perfect situation to rotate out. Doesn't happen though. 2v2, Clemsy and Kiwi versus Whalers and Twisted. As they look to get that bomb down, but Whalers with the spot, planting in the open. Not what you want to be seeing, and now up to Clemsy, who stuns out, picks up the bomb, rotates out by the looks of it. Is he going to take it to A? Is he going to get the spot on Twisted? He is not. And Hybrid Nations take another round, 3-1. And thank you, Sneeze, for coming through with the follow as well. Somehow, some way, actually on the way to 1,000 followers here on this channel. A channel that I haven't actually streamed properly on in a very, very long time until I have decided to try and pick up some challengers this year. So genuinely really appreciate the support from everyone who is coming in, giving the follows. Round 5. Did I see a sniper come out from someone there, or was I daydreaming? I think I was just daydreaming. Ignore me. Twisted with 1. Great first blood to get on the offense as they go aggressive towards A, similar to how they did on round 1, but Light Unlimited going to get a bit more aggressive with the answer back. How will that work out? Zidix trying to play his life. Very congested from Light Unlimited here as they look for the push. Kiwi answering back. Great round. Great play to answer it back. And now a 3 versus 3. Hybrid Nations though. Scythe picking up 1 against Kiwi. And Light Unlimited in a little bit of trouble here, needing to try and get another pick. Very, very hard to get through on A. Not having that man advantage. Clemsy trying to pick up the pick. He's in trouble. He gets done through the wall though, leaving it all up to Zidix, who's still facing forward, and he gets taken out. And Light Unlimited very quickly looking like a side who may be running out of answers here. Of course, that could all change. Four to 1 now. Hybrid Nations truly in the driver's seat here, enjoying this S&D. Again, the kills Whalers 6 and 1 as well. This has been a phenomenal performance by him as he goes for that jump check. It's been a consistent check of his on the majority of their defensive rounds as Light Unlimited trying to get a little bit more aggro towards A. They played their last few offensive rounds rather passively. And that's kind of come back to bite them in moments where maybe they should have done more. Again, having mid control, but not being able to rotate towards the sites. Zidix trying to help his teammate, Aiden, on the push. Can he help take out Scythe? Again, the angle's just not quite working out for them. As no one dropping yet, Hybrid Nations playing their lives well. Holding the corner. Clemsy picking up 1. Aiden with the bomb in hand. Zidix picks up another. And this is the break that Light Unlimited needed. And it looks like they're going to rotate this bomb around to B, which seemingly is the good decision. You'll see the split off come now. But Kiwi still in a position to catch players rotating off. I think Whalers is kind of banking on that rotator off, just taking his time to pick up 1. Now 2 versus 3. Time to rotate over and get that bomb defused. But they're quite aware of where the push is coming from, Light Unlimited. Should be set up to deal with it. Eventually going to cut through mid where Aiden is going to be waiting. How are those timings going to work out? He's going to get the spot on one. He knows the two are there. He rotates off. Zidik's going to be there for the assist. Chunk up top. No time to get that defuse through. Light Unlimited disciplined in their play. And they get an offensive round under the belt. Light Unlimited pulling one back, 4-2. Plenty of work left to do. But a very well played round. And look, it has to be said, Light Unlimited are still going to struggle, I think, in the search and destroy. Hybrid Nations definitely look like the side that is more comfortable in their strategies and what they decide to do, again, with a player like Whalers going on a 5 spree. But Light Unlimited have proven that if they can make things scrappy, they can take these rounds, but it will be a case of stealing it from underneath Hybrid Nations as opposed to flipping the script here, I think. Unless Hybrid Nations slow down, but at the moment, their setups have been clean, cool, calm, and collected, but Aiden getting the first blood gives Light Unlimited another opportunity here to pull this back, as Zidix is going to be there for the trade. Is that plant going down from Scythe? It doesn't look like it. Trying to bait out a peek, I think, here from Hybrid Nations. Slowly edging forward, going for the plant. Climsy, he doesn't see. He doesn't see the planter. He does now, but Kiwi picking up one. Scythe now, the last alive. Sliding out, trying to stay alive, nearly picking up that kill. Had no right to even nearly get that. But the kill coming through, the defuse coming through, and Light Unlimited closing the gap now just to 1. Round number 8. Light Unlimited giving themselves an opportunity. They snuck map 1 from Hybrid Nations 250 to 242. Will they be looking to sneak this one again? Chunk has been spotted in the water. He's in deep trouble. Clemsy's got the spot. He's still lying down, but the flank coming through from Zidix in the water, I believe. Whalers taking out Clemsy may make Zidix think twice about the peak. He is going to go for it anyway to pick up 1. Is he going to be able to rotate out though? Sticking the bomb. Staying alive. How is he still up? He eventually gets dropped by Twisted. He took a gamble. It paid off for 1, but not for 2. Aiden and Kiwi now versus Whalers, Twisted, and Scythe. Bomb dropped in a precarious position. Do Hybrid Nations know it's down? The flank coming through mid could leave Twisted in trouble, depending on where the peaks come from. Aiden, does he get the spot? He absolutely does. There's 1. Kiwi getting ready to get Scythe. These timings could work out, but he had his gun down. Time running out now for Light Unlimited. Whalers playing wide, knows that this bomb is down. Whalers though dropping into the water. Did he mean to do that? Surely not. Aiden's going to go for the plant. And now 2 versus 1. Scythe trying to take out Kiwi, and he does. 1v1. Bomb down. Huge swing round here. Massive moments. Aiden, he's dropped. Scythe, clinical. Gonna hop on that defuse. What a round from Hybrid Nations. Light Unlimited very close to pulling that one back. But Hybrid Nations now up 5-3. A clutch from Scythe in the end to win the 2v1. Those shots were perfect. Scythe with the bomb in hand. Clemsy playing the B defense, but it's an aggressive A, and it's an aggressive A cut into mid as well, where Chunk's going to get the first blood. Chase Aiden right on through, and that is pristine. Clemsy picks up 1. Chunk, does he go on a chase for him? Doesn't look like it. But Climsy now has made his way straight away to the false flank, and he has spotted one. Those timings nearly not working out, but it allows him to get one. 2 versus 2. Bombed out on A. Light Unlimited split apart. Have no choice but to work a collapsed pinch. Chunk and Whalers watching either side. They know where to look as well. Clemsy is making his way on that cut. The timing's not quite working out for the spot. Clemsy's been spotted though. Horrendous luck. Whaler's going to pick up one. Kiwi in trouble. He will grab the one. He knows where to look for the second. Is Whaler's going to play time here? Or is he going to get him on the push? No. Hybrid Nations doing enough to take this one 6-3. Another great performance from this Hybrid Nation side, who were really close to taking that map 1, but now have a map on the board with the second. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have map number 2 in the books. 250 to 242 for Light Unlimited on map 1, and then 6-3 in map number 2 for Hybrid Nations means that we will be dipping into our pool of exposure. Whether or not that'll be just once with the hardpoint or twice with the Search and Destroy is up to these two teams, but for now it'll be map number 3 on Overload. How is that map going to go? Again, folks, just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who is coming in and checking out the stream as well. Let me know how you think these two teams are performing so far. Again, it's been a really, really entertaining series to watch, and thank you for people coming in showing the support as well. DMT Nat coming through with the follow as well, and then I think I shouted out Sneeze already, and a name I don't really want to read out on stream, and then Bullet is back. Tartaga, Kez, yes, I did. I remember thanking all of you guys, but thank you all very much. I do hope you're enjoying what you're seeing here today between these two sides. Again, we have Team Hybrid Nations, Twisted, Junkie Boys, Scythe, and Whalers going up against each other, or going with each other against the other team here, which is Light Unlimited. Again, a great side, a side that we followed on Friday, who lost their game just about. Was a great series to watch. Aiden Kleem, Danny Codd, and Zidix putting on a show here for us this evening, and what has been a great series to watch, and a series that is threatening to only get better, to be honest. And I know I do say that a lot, but come on, you've seen those two maps. If you were here for the both of them, you know that we're in for a barn burner. It has been great to see so far. And the Elites group stage continuing to heat up as we look to get into the lobby once again. The host switching, which is what we are sorting out at this current moment in time. I'll make sure to get into their lobby as quickly as I can so we can get the action underway as quick as they can. My Chinese takeout is going cold to cover this game. If that doesn't show the love and dedication I have, I don't know what will. See if we can get joined into the lobby again. Yes, we're in. Amazing. We are in. And most players are in the lobby already, so we should be getting this one underway in just a couple of moments. Again, folks, if you are just joining us, Light Unlimited are currently tied with Hybrid Nations 1-1 in this series. And, you know, you could argue, right, that, and we talked about it at the end of map 1, you could argue that Hybrid Nations kind of fumbled the bag a little bit with map 1 at the end. Again, you have to give credit to Light Unlimited for having that ability and determination and commitment to get over the line in the way they did in map 1. But you can very easily flip the script and say that Hybrid Nations should have had that map 1, and then on the overall took map 2 with confidence. Again, you know, good round from Light Unlimited, making life awkward, but you know, Hybrid Nations never really looked uncomfortable in that Search and Destroy. So in another world, you could say that Hybrid Nations should have had a 250 to 200 and then a 6-3, which would be a very confident position to go into going into Scar Overload, right? But we're going to be at least seeing an exposure hardpoint, which does change things just a little. It puts a little bit more pressure on both of these sides. Light Unlimited, though, I think will recognize there's a lot of importance in this Scar overload, because I think if Hybrid Nations start to feel themselves, they start to get a little bit more confident in the way that they're playing, and we saw the discipline set up in that Search and Destroy really be an undoing for Light Unlimited as they got picked apart. If we see Hybrid Nations just being able to grow in that sort of play style, then we could be seeing a Hybrid Nation side so confident after the Scar overload that they just decimate Light Unlimited, that they pick up the extra kills. And on a map like Exposure, I think very kills based as well, you know. Obviously spawns are important, but if you're able to slay out a lot of mid-map control, then you are going to dominate on that map. All signs at that point would point to Hybrid Nations being able to take that one. I think if Light Unlimited take this one, they may be looking to try and then sneak a hard point as well in Exposure, trying to get it done on map 4, because going to a Search and Destroy against this Hybrid Nation side, they're a side that looks confident on their non-respawn. Not that Light Unlimited don't either, but I do think we're dealing with quite fine margins between these two sides when it comes to that sort of thing. And I'm looking as well at the sides of these teams, and there is a Codcaster bug at the moment where I may not be able to change the color. I will see if I can before they start. I can't. They have started. Well, that's fine. It's just most likely that we're going to be dealing with the wrong color situation. Again, there's a new bug when you join into the lobby and it's not with the code. It doesn't bring up the Codcaster option for you to go in and actually flip the colors around or edit anything in the Codcaster. And now that the teams have set up on different sides, that is what we're going to have to deal with. But both of these sides, we're already loaded into the map. We are ready to go. Again, shout out to all of you watching. I've been told Attach is doing a watch party at the moment. Attach, absolutely love you, my man. You better come through with the follow at the end or I will cry live on stream and it'll be your fault. But appreciate you being here, showing off the action for everyone as we get in to map number 3. And no, they actually keep the right sides at the end up. They just flip in game. Amazing. That is making my life so much easier. Thank you very much, guys. I really do appreciate that we're not going to have a color issue because of that. Love to see it. But Twisted and Whalers so far popping off. Whalers with 2. And sorry if you blinked, folks. You may have missed the fact that Hybrid Nations have already taken the lead here in this overload. Pushed up, aggressive. Whalers and Twisted continue to pop off. Twisted with the 2. As Cleamsy getting destroyed out of spawn. Twisted on a killing spree of 5. It's only Chunk that's dropped and he's dropped 3 times. No one at Hybrid Nations is going down. As Whalers now on the killing spree of 5 as well. Finally getting taken down. But Twisted now on a 6. And I'm surprised they've only been able to get 1 cap out of all of this. But that 8 point is clear and locked. As Twisted makes it a 7. A perfect start for Hybrid Nations here as they up the ante in map 3. Rotating back around to that EMP side. Twisted makes it 8. Does he know where to look for 9? He doesn't. Aiden shuts him down. And finally, everyone on the side of Hybrid Nations has dropped at least once. But you talk about the perfect start. Hybrid Nations getting that here. Leaving Light Unlimited floundering, trying to pull it back. But they will take solace in the knowledge that there is plenty of time to pull it back. 3 minutes 20 in this half alone. It's a long game ahead of you. Plenty of opportunities, but you need to pick up that KD quick or you are going to find yourselves 2-1 down and in deep, deep trouble because Hybrid Nations are in a rhythm. But Kiwi trying to establish a rhythm of his own now on a 3. Pushing around the back. He's going to take out Twisted. He's going to help. And hang on just a minute. Talk about answering back. This has been perfect. And Light Unlimited get 1. What a wave. As we've had exceptional plays from Hybrid Nations for the most part. Chunk yet to pick up a kill. 0 and 8. Not a great start for him, all things considered. It was the perfection of the other 3 teammates that carried them through. But now that floundering KDs, he finally picks up 1, beginning to bite them on the backside. But now picking up 2. It's like he heard me. It's like he heard me call him out. And he's ready to go himself, pushing up, trying to clear the lanes. Light Unlimited already caught a bit in spawn, but Zidix getting a big kill so they can rotate out. And Kiwi, 6 and 9, trying to pick up 1. Nearly getting the second. Actually jumping over her player, so that's why he didn't see him. Unfortunate for himself, but Scythe had twisted 10 and 11 respectively. Make that 11 each. Another 3 down. And there is an opening for that capture. I don't know why that's not coming through. That overload was there for the taking. Again, folks, we have the luxury of the minimap, but Hybrid Nations, I think, more concerned here about slaying out the spawn as opposed to actually getting those overloads done and dusted. But they had a clear run. Whalers picking up 1. Gonna try and get the second against Zidix. Hits him with a nice headshot. Finishes the job, or it's Twisted that finishes the job, excuse me. As Hybrid Nations have Light Unlimited very, very pushed up. If they keep up with these kills, there's only a matter of time before they make it 3-1. Kiwi picking up 2 though, Cleamsy with 1, leaving it all up to Chunk, who drops, and that is going to be the way out for Light. Kiwi 12 and 11, making that 13 on the 4 spree as well, trying to get this spawn cleared out. He's going to pick up 1, and that's going to be enough for Light Unlimited to even it up. Folks, off the back of that beginning of Hybrid Nations, who would have thought that Light Unlimited were going to be able to get it evened up within the same half, but they have woken up here after what was a super shaky start. And Chunk trying to pick up that kill, but Kiwi bouncing left to right was going to be able to take out Chunk, but is caught swapping weapons after the reload, or the need to reload. Hybrid Nations now at a 3. They're going to cut to B. And Light Unlimited have been a little late to recognize that. Are they going to be able to stop this cap before the half? They won't. Hybrid Nations up by 1. Is Kiwi going to be able to grab this EMP in time before the half ends? He's going to need to pick up the kill though, and he can't. Halftime. Hybrid Nations in the lead. And a great round from both of these sides, really, in moments, it has to be said. Super impressive stuff. You love to see it. But right now, Hybrid Nations will be the happier of the 2 sides. Can they keep up this form? Time will tell. One player who's hoping that he can improve on the form, though, is Chunk. 4 and 13. Given how the rest of his team is doing, is sort of a shocking statistic, really. It's just not happening for him here. Is now dropping to 4 and 14, but can the rest of the side pull back the numbers and do enough? That is the big question. Zidix with 2, though. That EMP got ran up, but Light Unlimited were comfortable in dealing with it, trying to get rotated out safely. Are going to have to take it towards this motel side as Aiden's trying to clear a path. Arguably now, Light Unlimited have the easier side to go on for caps, in my personal opinion. Again, I do wonder what the red Eric is in terms of which side is easier. Again, do let me know on that, what your opinion is in that regard. Scythe picking up 1 on this defense, playing that tight corner. Sort of that position where it ends up being the last line of defense once a side gets pushed through. Zidix is just rotating kind of back with it, watching the flank. Sitting at a bit of a stalemate here at the moment. But I think both sides are happy to do that, because I think Light Unlimited will feel that the higher pace this game goes, the more they risk having more than 1 scored against them. We've seen Hybrid Nations be really happy with the pace. And as this map count is at 1 apiece, it really does hang in the balance between both of these sides. Scythe though on a 6, gonna make it 7, 3 if not 4 down for Light Unlimited as they get caught in spawn. Scythe trying to stay alive, eventually drops, but has he done enough for Hybrid Nations to get that cap through? He absolutely has. And another overload going through makes life even more difficult for a Light Unlimited side who are running out of options here. They have control of the EMP site, but Chunk watching over picks up his 7th. And Scythe Picking up one. Cleamsy though with one. Light Unlimited trying to get rotated out. But how often have we seen Hybrid Nations sit in positions where they are just trying to be thorns in the side of Light Unlimited? They have so often been around spawns, down through the middle and around the back of either side or vice versa. Just consistently picking up positions that cause trouble. Scythe and Twisted, 24 and 23 and 16. Phenomenal KDs as that A lane is opened, or B lane, excuse me, and now 5-3. That gap is looking a little bit too big now, you would have to think. We've seen Light Unlimited answer back on a multitude of occasions. And they're going to have to answer back a few more times. Cleamsy with a huge kill means that they go through again, 5-4. This is an incredibly high-scoring game of Overload. I think one of the highest scoring games I've certainly ever had the privilege to cast. And it's a pleasure to be bringing it to all of you watching here today. Chunk picking up one. Aiden, though, with the push. He's going to take out Chunk, but not before he gets two. Aiden's ready and waiting to pick up the second against Twisted as he's desperately trying to clear this A lane out. But will it be in vain? He picks up the EMP now. Goes on the cut, but he is going to be left very much on his own until the team can turtle up with him in mid, which is what they do. Trying to stay alive, trying to run that EMP through, but Whalers on the hold. Scythe has just picked up his 28th of the game. Shots through the wall. Trying to hurt Zidix. The only thing, though, he's hurting is his feelings. As Zidix picks up one. There is a gap. Can they take advantage of it? That EMP reset before they could. It was where Aiden was, and it's now reset. And Nations have a way through. The counter-attacking opportunity on. The cap goes through. 30 seconds left. And that should be that. Light Unlimited will be feeling so hard done by the RNG. That EMP was there for the grabs at 5-4 to run it freely through Hybrid Nations B point. But not being able to grab it in time, the respawn over towards playing meant that Hybrid Nations had the run to go through to A and get that all-important overload to do enough to go 2-1 up in this series. Kiwi with one. The trade's going through, but none of it matters now as Hybrid Nations go 2-1 up in this series. Light Unlimited will be feeling very, very hard done by after that one. I would be shocked if they weren't, because that hurts. That hurts if you're a Light Unlimited fan. You know, you were slaying out control of that B side. It looked like you had enough control. You had your number 7. You had Cleamsy actually freely pushed up on the lane, on the line of that spawn. But not grabbing the EMP in time ultimately means it resets outside your purview, outside where you're pushing through, and towards the area you are forcing Hybrid Nations to spawn into by being pushed up at that B point. And because of all that, Hybrid Nations get over the line just about. But again, another scoreline where you'd look at 6-4 and think it might have been a confident performance. But I will tell you folks, if you are maybe just tuning in and you're looking at all three of these results, I need to tell you, other than maybe the search and destroy, it has been by the finest of margins. It's been by the finest of margins, ladies and gentlemen, and I can see y'all in the chat as well. Again, get a load of these guys. Get a load of these guys over here in the chat. Welcome on in. A lot of people in speaking French. I can't understand a word of it. I'm so sorry. I'm just hoping it's nice things and I'm not pointing out perhaps, I don't know, French racial slurs or profanities like I'm endorsing it. I don't speak French, so I'm taking your word for it that everyone's being super nice in the chat. But welcome on in, folks. I do hope you're enjoying what you're seeing here this evening. Again, yes, I do believe this is the last game. Again, 45-second delay, so Brezzy will already, or Brezzy has already had that answered for him. But as far as I'm aware, yes, this is the last game for these sides. So a very important one for both of these sides. And we will head back over to the map and mode screen as well, as I do believe we are going to be getting into this game very shortly. And very shortly, as a matter of fact, it is borderline instantaneous. Map number 4, loading up the first of perhaps 2 hard points as we go over, or 2 exposures, excuse me, as we go over to the exposure hard point. And welcome in with the follows as well, Fairy Lou and Brezzy coming in with the follows too. Burnt coming in as well 30 minutes ago with the follows. Massively appreciate y'all showing your support here for everything that we're trying to do for the challengers here in COD, or on the Zepcast channel. So used to saying COD Ireland. It just rolls off the tongue. Make sure to check out COD Ireland, by the way. If you like Irish people, you like Call of Duty, you can check us out, do sweet feck all, because I don't have the time to run things as much anymore as we get back over to map 4. Let's get into it. The last hard point was a bang out. This one could very well be as well. So we're on board with Clemsy. And Zidix has actually picks up the first blood, but 2 from Chunks and Twisted. Twisted picking up the second. And Hybrid Nation trying to vie for control of that middle of the map, but Clemsy picking up 1 before he gets traded out. And Scythe on the point, or towards the point anyway. Twisted picking up another. The push coming on through. Walters, Chunk, picking up a Walters? Whalers. My God. Get a load of Walters over here. Big Walter and co, huh? It's Twisted, 3 and 1 now sitting on the point. This has been perfection from Hybridation so far. Not a scrap of time on the board for Light Unlimited until now. No, they actually don't get any, but they do have control of P2, so will get some time to answer back. How is the breaking power of Hybridations on this map? We are about to find out. Twisted already on 5. He has been dominant in these last 2 maps, continuing to perform to the highest level to drag his side through. What will be a hugely important win for them, and a win that I believe knocks Light Unlimited out completely at 0 and 4. Hybrid Nations, I think, at 1 and 2. So a win for Hybrid Nations puts them at 2 and 2, which I don't know if that's enough. Again, I haven't been super in tune with the group stages and how that system is working. Unfortunately, haven't actually been checking out too much of the games myself outside of the ones that I have been covering. So I'm not completely in the knowledge, but again, let me know what the pressure is like in the chat for both of these teams. I do believe I'm correct in saying what I'm saying, but Hybrid Nations now dominant in the slaying power at this moment in time. Not by much, but as soon as I say that, it's every time Light Unlimited are like, how dare you go against us, say something negative about us. We are about to prove you wrong. As Clemsy now 7 and 5. Trying to hold up top with the AR. Light Unlimited have rotated well for the last 2 points, but they need to make a rotation count fully. And they haven't been able to do so as of yet. Getting decent time on P2, but not as much as they would have liked, as already we're seeing Hybrid Nations come through, getting ready to collapse onto that point as they just wipe the floor here. And that is a very, very quick break against Light Unlimited here. Hybrid Nations trying to poise themselves to take the rest of this 30 seconds, but Light Unlimited making it difficult. Clemsy with 1. He gets traded. Kiwi though with 2. Gonna need to get 3, and he absolutely does. Can he make it 4? He does. Cleaning up for his side to allow Light Unlimited to get this scrap and keep themselves in this game so far. Gonna get taken off the final few seconds, but not even 20 points in the difference, rotating over towards P4. Aiden and Clemsy picking up a couple. Clemsy trying to get another in the back spawn. Does not want to allow Twisted to flip it, but Scythe might be able to flip it here. But it's going to be Scythe versus Clemsy in the back spawn for that all-important control. It's Clemsy's to win, and he gets it on a 3 spree himself as his teammate helps him out around the back. This has been immaculate spawn control from Light Unlimited, but Hybrid Nations have just had the ability to push straight through front. But finally, Light Unlimited breaking through, reaping some of the rewards of that spawn control. Whalers with the nade through, making Aiden weak, but he's able to hold on. Light Unlimited poised to get the majority of this time. Unless Hybrid Nations can go for a quick break here through the side, they are going to try and flood through. Will it work? Aiden with 1. He's already weak. He's already in trouble. And the flood going to be enough as Twisted takes out 2 before he gets taken out. I actually think he may have made it 3 in the end up, but Scythe with the finish, meaning that Hybrid Nations get the scrap, and once again less than 20 points in it. I think it was the exact same amount of points in it as between the P3 and P4 rotation. I think. Maybe I'm misremembering. Don't quote me on that. as Whalers 5 and 8, trying to keep this mid control, trying to cover the push through from Light Unlimited. The fight's over towards P5. As these teams try to hold. See the push up through mid. How's that going to work? Scythe on that flank. How are the timings? Zidix manages to pick up the kill. Hybrid Nations with majority of the control. They have had a massive P5 here. Light Unlimited have not got a second from this. Similarly, how they didn't get a second on P1 the last time around. Finally getting a little bit of time on the board now. But 1-2-1 to what is going to be 80. Hybrid Nations looking control as they look to regain mid control once more. Light Unlimited have to find an answer, and they have to find it now or their series is done. Cleamsy picking up one down the side. Peeking the angles. Trying to keep it covered. Ready and waiting, neither side touching that midpoint. Barely a second grabbed on P1 as of yet. Finally, Chunk makes the move. And the kill's coming through. Whalers and Twisted. Zidix with 2. Scythe, though, picking up that trade. And managing to take out Aiden as well. Had no right to win that one, but he does. As Cleamsy now through with 2, but Chunk there with the trade. Then Zidix taking out Chunk. It's a back and forth of being there for trades. As Zidix nearly taking out, but managing to rotate out. Whalers though picking up 1. 9 and 11 up in the best start from himself. Make that now 9 and 12. But Aiden at 9 and 15. 2 equally unimpressive performers so far, who will be hoping to pull the numbers up for their team at the death. One of these guys could be the difference maker, the difference between winning and losing it. As other than that, you take a look at these KDs, they are so similar to each other for the most part, other than a slight advantage towards Hybrid Nations. This map, this series, still on a knife's edge. As Light Unlimited trying to claw their way back in and get over 100 points. To make that gap, lessen that gap to under 35. Twisted coming through with the push. Twisted just shooting the angle. Cleamsy picking up the kill. Twisted with 1. Twisted and Chunk picking up a couple. Hybrid Nations picking up a nice wave of kills now. Rotating over to P3. And again, one clean hold for Hybrid Nations would make life incredibly difficult for Light Unlimited at this stage. So they need to work the break. And this pinch has been good, but only counting for 1 in the end up. But now pushing through the front. Can Hybrid Nations hang on, or are Light Unlimited going to get the break? Scythe picking up 1. Whalers and Twisted picking up the others. Zidix the last up, but he's taken out by Twisted. And this has been a clean hold from Hybrid, and the hold that may be Light Unlimited's undoing. Twisted with 1. Scythe with 2. And them two have been insane for their side in these last 2 maps. Arguably, I'd almost give them the joint MVPs for winning it. But if I was to be really, really clinical on it, I think you'd have to give Series MVP to Twisted, wouldn't you? I think he would have to take it at this rate, but that's only if he keeps up these numbers and Hybrid Nations get over the line right here and now. But this time around, Light Unlimited do not have spawns for P2. They are floundering, trying to get around the back, whereas Hybrid Nations now have complete control of the spawns, complete control of the map, potentially complete control of this series, unless Light Unlimited can flip it around right here and now. But a gap that was at 35 points at one point is now stretched to nearly 100. As Hybrid Nations have the finish line in sight. Can they get over the line? Chunk hopping on down for 1. Aiden trading him out. Another 2 though for Hybrid Nations, who look to be locking down this scrap, and Light Unlimited have no choice but to get rotated over and try and play perfect hard point from here on in. From P5 onwards, no more mistakes can be afforded. But with 1 already dropping on P5, The curtains may be drawing closed on this one. 221 to 130. Aiden with 2. Trying to pull back these numbers. As Whalers has also picked up his, but slightly more than Aiden. Potentially being the difference maker. As Hybrid Nations steadily racking up the time. A couple at a piece and another 3-piece. 4 Twisted. Vying for that MVP spot. Potentially locking it down. Chunk with 2. Light Unlimited have been locked out of this point as they desperately try for one more break. One last chance. One more opportunity. Trying to get a modicum of scrap time. But they can't do it. Chunk with 3. Chunk with 4. And there you have it, folks. At the death. Chunk with 5. Hybrid Nations get the job done. Taking it 250 to 137. What a performance. Chunk at the end. Wanting to steal that MVP spot, but he ain't getting it. I'm sorry, bro. It's not yours. 250 to 137 in the end up. Take a bow. Chunk with a 5. To end Light Unlimited's run in this elite. Well, folks, there you have it. Hybrid Nations taking this one 3-1, a 250 to 242. And you have to excuse me, that graphic, I actually saved the wrong one there. Why did I do that, silly Zep? You had one job. It was literally a 50-50. And you got the wrong one. But Light Unlimited taking map number 1 in a steal of a fashion, 250 to 242. And from there, Hybrid Nations with a convincing victory on a raid search and destroy bar a few moments. A hectic game that they locked down on map number 3, arguably through a little bit of luck, but you make your own luck sometimes in COD. And then a map number 4, which was a dominant performance from Hybrid Nations, going one step above here on the exposure hard point to end Light Unlimited's run here in the elite group stage, finishing 0-4, whereas Hybrid Nations finished 2-2. And what I will say about Light Unlimited's run, you know, going 0-4, we covered a lot of those games and they were so close. So give massive commiserations to Light Unlimited, a very, very solid team, close to doing it on a lot of occasions, but just not able to get it over the line. And congratulations to Hybrid Nations for their performance. And ladies and gentlemen, that is where we're going to leave it here once again. Massive thank you for everyone who has come and tuned in to watch the stream. I appreciate y'all coming through, giving the love and support for what we do here. And I've seen a lot of you in the chat as well. I do believe there is a couple of watch parties going on as well. So massive shout out to you guys as well. I do hope you enjoyed what you see here and you enjoyed kind of the package, the presentation package of how he brought it to you folks. Again, we want to give you sort of the best production we possibly can here. You know, I want things to look good to try and put on the best show for people to watch and for people who are playing to look back on and go, hey, that was pretty damn cool. So as I said, I do hope you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, folks. I've been Zepcast. We're going to be ending it here. Massive thank you once more, and I hope to see you back. I don't know when the next game we'll be covering is, and I don't know what it'll be, but I do hope to see a lot of you back. Massive love, folks, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.